Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Eric with SweetSpotDFS, and I'm about to go over the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups for the Open Championship. But before we do that, I just want to go over some quick reminders of giveaways that I'm running this week. One being a Win the Pot giveaway. I'm starting this at 966 subscribers. Every one new subscriber from that mark, I will add $2 to the pot, and the pot starts at 20 bucks. If you want an entry, be subscribed. Comment down below and actually comment on any of the videos I put out this week. I will be putting out quite a few. So go comment. And then Tuesday, when I go live, I will be streaming live a DFS strategy video at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will run this giveaway. So July 14th, I will run this giveaway. If you want to help grow it, subscribe, get your friends to subscribe, get your family members to subscribe. And then have everybody comment down below. That's how you get entries into this giveaway. This kind of feeds into another giveaway that I'm doing, a SweetSpotDFS.com giveaway. Go sign up on SweetSpotDFS.com, and when this channel reaches 1,000 subscribers, I will be giving away 2 lifetime memberships to SweetSpotDFS.com, 2 annual memberships to SweetSpotDFS.com, and 4 $100 cash giveaways. This all has to happen before the start of the Open Championship. You can see I've crossed out or I've written over the original giveaways that I was doing. I'm doubling everything. If we can reach 1,000 subscribers before the beginning of the Open, I will double the typical giveaways that I do for this $1,000 SweetSpotDFS.com giveaway. It should actually just be called a $2,000 SweetSpotDFS.com giveaway right now. Again, channel has to get to 1,000 subscribers before the Open. I will always run this giveaway no matter what, but it won't be double the value it currently is at right now. This is an Open Championship exclusive. That's it. If we reach 1,000 subscribers before the Open, I will keep this doubled. Otherwise, it goes back to the original amount, which you will see during next week's video if we haven't gotten to 1,000 yet. So, throwing that out there, those are the only ones that I'm going to bore you with right now. Let's get into the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. So I like to start most of my weeks looking at historic salary builds, pass optimal, and GPP winning lineups because I want to know what lineups do well, what types of lineups do well at the Open Championship, and also what lineups do well at major championships. So I'm at SweetSpotDFS.com right now, and this is under the historic salary builds. We'll be looking at this one, this tool for the majority of this video. Now, I keep track of 3 different types of lineups. One, the GPP winning lineup. This is obvious. This is very obvious. It's whatever GPP that I'm playing in, I record the winning lineup, and that's what you get. You'll see the different types of lineup builds for the GPP winning lineup. I also keep track of the optimal lineup, which is just the best lineup. It's literally the best lineup you can build that week for whatever tournament it's looking at. And then I have a Sweet Spot Optimal, which is the best lineup using $49,600 of the salary and up. That is not the optimal lineup. So sometimes the optimal lineup will use $49,600 of the salary and above. From there, I wouldn't call that the Sweet Spot Optimal. I'd grab the second best lineup, and that will be the Sweet Spot Optimal. So I keep track of those 3 lineups, and you can see all the different types of lineup builds over here in the little summary box. The most common is a 10-9-8-7-7-6. If you've been to this channel before, you know that's the typical jingle, followed by a 10-9-8-7-6-6 and a 10-8-8-7-7-6. So very, very similar lineup builds. Those 3 lineups make up almost 25% of the different types, or the 25% of successful lineups at any of the events. Now, because we are at the Open Championship, this little drop down right here, go ahead and type in the Open Championship, and then we will look only at lineups at this event. Look at this one. I mean, first of all, you can drill into these, and then you can see a more detailed look. $12,800 was the max salary here, but this was a 10-10 6-6-6-6. Now, If you want to see what that lineup is, first of all, keep track of what year it was, and then go into this other tool that I have called the Pass Optimal and GPP Winning Lineups. And again, type in for the select tournament, the Open Championship. And we want to look at 2024, and then also keep track of what type of lineup, Sweet Spot Optimal and GPP Winner. So let's go ahead and put in the GPP Winner, and that way you can see which golfers were in those lineups. $12,800 Scotty Scheffler, $11,200 Xander. Then it was $69, $67, $65, and then $5,900 Shivanka Sharma. So that right away can give you an idea as to where to start your lineups, because if you remember what we were looking at during the DraftKings first look, and I apologize, let me go ahead and bring up the DraftKings page. Sorry for not having this ready, but you could start with a Scotty Scheffler at 13,300, because again, if you look at this one, 12.8, the big difference is $500 between Scotty Scheffler in 2024 and Scotty Scheffler here in 2026. Well, the next most expensive golfer is $11,900 Rory McIlroy, and then Tommy Fleetwood. So in the DraftKings first look video, I went over, I did make a lineup that started with Scheffler and then went to Fleetwood. Well, if you want to know what a successful lineup looks like following those two golfers or salary points, come to the Pass Optimal and GPP Winning Lineups, plug in the 2024 Open Championship, and there you have it. 69, 67, 65, 59. I did mention a 5K golfer by the name of Bernd Wiesberger that was doing really well at the Genesis Scottish Open. So right away, like, this works. And look at the remaining salary we have, $6,800. If I go back here, 69, 67, 65. Now, do I think it's smart to copy a specific year just to copy salary structures? Of course not, but it is to give you a little bit more confidence to follow these types of lineup builds, to give you a little idea as to what does successful lineups look like. And I mean, I mentioned Tom Kim. I like Tom Kim. I like Chikara at $6,700, and now I have $6,900 left, and I could play someone like Hideki Matsuyama. Like, this lineup right here looks like straight fire. I absolutely love this lineup, and this follows the 2024 Open Championship pretty well. Now, that's one lineup. Remember, that's only one lineup. We don't have to get that specific, but you could build lineups like that. And really, just come here to SweetSpotDFS.com under Historic Salary Builds and plug in the information that you want to look for, or you want to look at. Now, here's another thing that I'll mention. I would want to put in criteria that's very similar to this week. So one way we can do that is under this salary slider bar right here, we can put anything. Since Scotty Scheffler's $13,300, let's just go $13,000 to $15,500. So basically what this is doing is it's looking at every event where there's been a golfer that was over $13,000. And so we can drill out of that. And now you can see all the records here on the right side. They all change. The most common lineup build still is a 10-9-8-7-7-6. There's 13 total records or 13 instances that lineup has been successful, and it's out of 118. So if I actually clear all filters and we come down here, I have 1,169 total lineups, but just doing that one filter of 13,000 to 15,500, it actually reduces it now down to 118. So we're like at nearly 10%. Like 10% of DraftKings contests had a golfer that was over $13,000. Now, to make this a little bit like a better research tool, let's take out the Tour Championship, because my tool includes, or the data that I have includes, the years where the Tour Championship had a staggered start. So that means there were $13,000, $14,000, $15,000 golfers that were priced that way because they had a 10-shot lead over the majority of the field. That's just how the PGA did their playoff structure for a little while. They no longer do that, but now, you know, we get rid of the Tour Championship and it goes from 118 down to 101. So we had 17 records that included a $13,000 and above golfer that was in the Tour Championship. So just throwing that out there. Now you can still see 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6 is the most popular lineup build, followed by a 10, 8, 2, 7s, and 2, 6s. And again, you can drill down into any of these lineups and see which events show up. And honestly, these are all Scotty Scheffler lineups. The American Express, that Scotty Scheffler won. BMW Championship, which he did not win, but still played well. He was still in that lineup. The 2025 Open Championship, the optimal lineup had him in it. The Memorial Tournament and the Byron Nelson, all 2025. So again, what you can do with all that information, take any of these tournaments, go to the Pass Optimal and GPP winning lineups, go ahead and type in, actually, I want to see what the BMW was in 2025. Yeah, Scotty Scheffler, and he did win it. Okay, so my apologies. I forgot who had won that one. So there you have it. It was 13,400, and then it went 81. Here's the thing. This week, DraftKings has a 5K range for the Open Championship. A lot of these events do not have a 5K range. So there's another way of research that you can do to see what lineup builds are the most successful. And instead of doing this salary from 13,000 to 15,000, let's go 0 to 5,900. So now we're looking at all tournaments that had a 5K range. And now you can see this actually goes to 683 total lineup builds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6, 13%. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6. I mean, again, we can drill into one of these lineups and take a look. So 2026 PGA Championship. We can look at the Sweet Spot Optimal, the GPP winner. So let's go ahead and do that. And there you have it. 10-4, 10-1, 9-8, 7-3, 6-7, 5-7. And Aaron Rai obviously won the PGA Championship at $6,700, but you had a 5K golfer, Max Grazerman, 2 10Ks, Rahm and Xander Schauffele. No Scotty Scheffler there. So this should give you still some more ideas as to how to build lineups. Now, I will say this, the historic salary builds, this is behind a paywall. You do have to be a member at SweetSpotDFS.com. You have to be a weekly, a monthly, an annual, or a lifetime member. By the way, I do provide lifetime memberships. It's $5.99 or just $600 basically, and you get lifetime access. I'm dedicated to this. I'm going to continue doing this for a very, very long time. I'm going to keep building tools to it. I'm going to add an optimizer to it. So go check it. You know, like, if it interests you, you might as well spend the $600 for a one-time fee of $600 and just don't worry about it. You're going to have access for years. And by the way, $600 is what some people charge for annual memberships at other sites that aren't as good as mine. Just throwing it out there. Not as good as mine. So, yeah. And also, you can use all the other filters that are here. You know, if we just want to look at major championships, you certainly can do that. You can see what the most common lineup build is for like a most successful lineup build. 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. Yet again, 10, 8, 3 7s and a 6. 10, 2 8s, 2 7s and a 6. 10, 9, 3 7s and a 6. You can do this research on your own. I'm giving you the tools as to how to go about it. Outside of that, I mean, salary structures for me matter so much when we have $13,000 golfers. Scotty Scheffler. What do you do with Scotty Scheffler? Does $13,000 work? I kind of briefly mentioned this in the DraftKings first look video because well, one, I didn't want to get too in depth there. I just wanted to go player by player, go through the salaries. And I had said I will talk about this when I get to the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. $13,000 has not been working out for Scotty Scheffler. If you are building lineups in 2026 with a $13,000 Scotty Scheffler, listen, in order to take down a GPP, you have to be pretty exact. But when it comes to building lineups with Scotty Scheffler, you have to be that much more exact. You have zero forgiveness. There aren't golfers that you can kind of exchange out in the 8K range or the 7K range that will do just as well or just as fine, or you would win. You would still win a GPP if you were to choose one golfer or the other. This requires cheap golfers. And when it comes to a major championship, Scotty Scheffler at $13,000 actually is very good, because you have golfers like Aaron Rai at the PGA Championship in the 6K range. That's like he was $6,700. So what if there's a world that Kurt Kitayama wins the Open Championship at $6,500? You could literally go with Kurt Kitayama in your lineup and build out something. I mean, I mentioned Fleetwood. You could go Fleetwood. I'm going to go ahead again, put in Bernd Wiesberger, because I think he's kind of the best 5K range. And now my two remaining salaries are 6K golfers. So I could do a 7K golfer. I could grab someone like, let's just go Patrick Reed. He's min 7,000. We go there with Hideki Matsuyama. This lineup is fantastic. Scheffler, Fleetwood, Patrick Reed, Matsuyama, Kitayama, and Wiesberger. And that lineup kind of matches this lineup right here. The one that Aaron Rai won, or Aaron Rai winning the PGA Championship. $6,700. Was 10-4, 10-1, 9-8. So we don't have the 9-8 to go with the two 10s, but still pretty good. If you wanted to do that Aaron Rai lineup, by the way, we could go Fitzpatrick and Fleetwood, who I like quite a bit. And now we can grab a 9K golfer from any of these guys. I can actually get rid of Wiesberger and grab Justin Rose. Or I guess if I want to put, let's put John Rahm back in that lineup. And then instead of Matsuyama, I guess this is where we put in Wiesberger. I don't really like leaving $500 on the table. So I either can replace Reed or Kitayama. I like Kitayama, so let's replace Reed. And now I can get someone like Justin Thomas. And that's two 10s, 1-9, 1-7, 1-6, 1-5. And it is very similar to this. 10, 10, 9, 7, 6, 5. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. But either way, I mean, it's up to you guys how you want to build your lineups. I don't think there's really a wrong answer. If you want to see more specific details, go to SweetSpotDFS.com and check out the historic salary builds, as well as the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. I will also mention the cheat sheet already has the open salaries in there. So if you want to do advanced research, you can use all of these buttons right here to go look. All that information. Check it out with the lead-in stats. I'll be going over this with Byron Lindeque on Sunday night. We will try to deep dive, find our elite groupings, and try to find, which golfers in the past coming in with recent, well, I will be looking at their lead-in stats to try to figure out how does that compare to this week? Like this page, the lead-in stats page, works so well with the cheat sheet. So if you want to look at strokes gain stats, you go strokes gain last year. This is this year's tournament right here. So we're looking at the last 12 months of strokes gain data right there. Well, guess what? I have that same button for the 2025 Open Championship. So you can try to do a 1-for-1 as your research should be, and just see which golfers did well in these previous years and compare it to this year. But yeah, 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6 is the most common lineup build. If you go and look at different criteria, depending on who you want to pick, obviously that changes. And I did go over those in this video. So hopefully you found this all very, very helpful. I'm not going to bore you with other giveaway reminders. I'm just going to cut off right here. Remember, subscribe, comment down below, gain your entries into the giveaway. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys. So thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.